Hello, welcome beautiful vibrant souls to today's pick a card reading. Today is going to be a little bit different than I normally do things. I have a new deck and I'm very excited to be able to utilize it in a reading. So what today's going to be, excuse me, sorry, my allergies. Also my hair, I'm having a crazy hair day, so I put big old beanie that I crocheted on top of her and hoping she's going to behave. So we'll see. But yeah, so today's going to be, I have these beautiful intuitive reading cards. So what I'm going to be doing today is utilizing the images that were in the thumbnail. I'm going to be just kind of channeling a lot of information and then following up utilizing the Mythical Goddess Tarot. For reference, the deck that I'll be using, hang on, I have it next to me, is the Soul Cards deck from Deborah Koff. Really, really beautiful deck. I highly recommend it. It's a little different than what I normally do, but it's beautiful, and I'm really excited to get into it and share it with all of you today. So I am going to be giving you guys another look before we get started in case the thumbnail wasn't wasn't enough for you to go. If you want a refresher, you're welcome to pick more than one group if you feel drawn to more than one. You are welcome to kind of excuse me, pick it with a particular situation, scenario, question in mind. My intention is just whatever needs to come through is going to come through. So maybe you're drawn to one with one question in mind, but the message that comes out might have to do with some other area of your life or still be pertaining to you. Use your own personal wisdom, your own personal discernment. I believe in you. So yeah, and I don't currently have this reading offered in my shop, but if you are interested in this reading for yourself, please feel free to, you can check out my shop link, which is in the description box, and DM me for a custom reading, because I've been doing this for myself a little bit, and it's been a really profound process. So if you find that this is a style that speaks to you, that might be a really good opportunity for you. So yeah, excuse me. Whew, sorry about that. My allergies, my asthma are just flaring up so bad. Thank you for your patience. With that, I'm going to show you guys the cards again. So group 1 is signified by this beautiful image. Trying to make it so you can see it without the lights like getting the glare. Group 2 signified by this image, this card right here. And group 3 signified by this card, very powerful. Okay, so, excuse me, my goodness. Again, take your time. You can pause the video if need be, meditate, contemplate on the options in front of you. Sorry, folks, I got my tea right here too. So as soon as it cools down, just enough to take a sip, which we might be there. Are we there? Oh, we're there. Oh, lovely. I'm glad I got to share that moment with you folks. Yeah, so when you're ready, pick your group. The timestamps are in the description box below. Head on over and that will take you to your selected options. So with that, I'm going to get into group 1. Okay. Hi, group 1. So I was really drawn to the timer when I started. Initially when I said group 1, it was moving from 3:30 to 3:31. So those might be significant numbers. The end of March might be a significant time for you. You could have a birthday, an anniversary, some important event could have happened around that time. Some of you might be really drawn into the Fool card as well, because it's right near April 1st, and that's for me the Fool card in the tarot. Those were unrelated. Those might be kind of synchronistic for you, kind of be like, oh yeah, that's confirmation. A lot of you are on an inner child healing journey to find your authentic self-expression, your joy. This being here is kind of right around that sort of root to sacral area. There's a lot of like orange and pink and yellow in this card. I was very drawn to this one myself, I have to be honest. Right now, I feel many of you are being called to protect your inner child on this journey. I don't know why I'm almost feeling this like slight self-consciousness as I say that. So for some of you, connecting with your inner child or connecting with that journey in an authentic way where you're really holding space for yourself might still feel a little uncomfortable. Like maybe some of you are like, even just having to say like, what does my inner child want, and having to answer that feels like uncomfortable. For some of you, doing what you want, what you truly actually want, is uncomfortable for you. I see that here. For others, there's a sense here of, because we have this like pink, but it's almost magenta. Magenta is very much about universal love and connection. Some of you, there's a sense here of redefining your joy as part of the universe in connection to other people. It's not such a solitary event. Some of you may have been, had like kind of an impacted sacral chakra, you know, and this is really our instincts, our drives, our desires. So it's kind of like you were maybe satiating some desires, but very disconnected from others. Or satiating some desires, but they were like coping thing. You know, it's kind of like when our heart and soul asks us for more, excuse me, and we feel like we can't meet those needs, so we kind of self-soothe in other ways, right? So for example, this might be where your heart and soul are asking you for authentic expression, but you don't feel comfortable doing that. So you suppress with like food, or our heart and soul are asking us for, you know, intimate connection with people in an emotionally meaningful way. And we try to like circumvent that or kind of substitute that authentic connection through like sexual intimacy, right? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with food or sexual intimacy, but it's kind of like you're not fully treating the root of the problem. So some of you are actually finally treating the root of the problem. And I feel for many of you, this is where you're kind of at. You're at this point of opening up. A lot of you might be experiencing changes, because look at how the light goes right here, with your shoulders. Some of you recently got a chest piece, or you're going to get a chest piece. If you're going to get tattoos or like on your shoulders. But some of you are experiencing, I'm getting your shoulders are locked. They were locked up, or they are locking up. They intermittently lock up. You are expressing and exercising old energy. So yeah, I mean, always go seek out, you know, medical attention. But I do feel you know, everything has a physical manifestation and a spiritual cause. And I think the spiritual cause is you are releasing a lot of old energy. Because there's also here, there's a lot of imagery having to do with the hands, the arms. You're protecting your inner child as your inner child finally expands, finally takes up the room that it wants to. And, you know, the arms are very much about what we do for ourselves, what we reach for. I'm so sorry. What we create. And there's a lot here about creating passion, authentic passion and joy for yourself, and allowing yourself to reach out to others and connect with others in that process. I don't know why I'm really drawn to the fact, and a lot of the figures and faces you see in this deck don't have hair, but I'm really drawn to it in this card for some reason. And, you know, it's kind of, for me, making me think of like an open crown area. There's nothing in the way, right? It's like, I'm not saying hair is like a disruption to your crown, but I don't know why, like, that's the image I got. A lot of you guys you're finally open to spirit in a way. Even if you've always been open to spirit, you are so open to spirit right now. So open to spiritual guidance. And so open to your higher self as well as your inner self, like your inner child. You're really listening. I'm hearing coaching. You're really coaching your inner child right now. You're protecting your inner child. And this is a very important thing, because it's not just even about your healing. Now picking up Chiron energy. So some of you might be doing some significant work on healing your Chiron energy. If you are curious about that, I do offer a Chiron healing reading to kind of talk about that at length. Excuse me, that is linked in my shop. Again, I'm very, very sorry. My allergies are just flaring up terribly. But if I waited for them to go away, I'd never get readings done for you guys, and that just won't do. No. Yeah, there's a sense where you're really like you're healing something very, very deep. And as a result, some part of you that never got the chance to be expressed is getting to be expressed. And this isn't even just from this lifetime. This is even a previous lifetime that this part of you, I mean, like a failure to launch energy. It just never got to come out. I don't know why I'm really drawn to the hands here, how much bigger they are than this little body. I don't know why. I feel like you guys are coming to this place of sometimes the most powerful thing we can create is space for other things to sort of blossom. It's like, you know, because again, the hands are very much about what we are able to do and create, how we work with things and like manipulate energy, how we make stuff. And there's a sense here of, because you know they're kind of like resting and pointed downward in this card, as you see. There's a sense here of letting yourself be at rest, letting yourself take a break, at least from what you would normally be doing. And this is, so if you feel stagnant, if you feel like you haven't been doing a lot, you feel locked up in general, right? The shoulders can also very much be associated with the responsibilities and the sense of burdens that we carry. A lot of you might have had to release a lot, and this might not have been easy, but this has been making space for this. Even just notice how this little being here, the hands are extended past the body, right? This has been making room for you to expand. And this takes place energetically and spiritually first. And I feel as if you're very close, like you're on your way and close to a breakthrough where you start to see this manifest in your external reality. Some of you are getting closer to your like divine creation, your divine creative purpose. Some of you are getting closer to, because your authenticity is blossoming in a new way. I'm hearing a new dimension. You're getting closer to your soul family, to the people who can see you authentically and appreciate and meet you in the same place. A lot of you guys are softening into I was going to say acceptance, but I almost said expression, where you're really just like, you're really expressing yourself. Even look how all the light comes out of the crown here. A lot of you guys, you're very tapped in. And you might, like I said, you might know this, but the extent to which it still has depths for you to explore. Again, like new dimensions of self. For a lot of you, this is through your creativity. But I don't, hang on. Excuse me, sorry. I don't even think this is like necessarily through the ways that you have conceptualized being creative. I want to this is where I want to kind of start clarifying. What is the sense of creativity? This one flipped itself right out, the Fool. Talk about it, so funny, we're talking about April 1st and the Fool card, because there we go. For a lot of you, the sense of creativity is just like the trust in yourself and the trust in spirit. For many of you, I think you may have been getting this message for a long time that you're meant to be creative, or that you are creative, and just felt like, yeah, I've been blocked, or I've been making things, but you haven't felt this, right? And even notice, again, the arms are out. There's a sense of trusting in the universe that they're going to catch you, and trusting in yourself that you're going to protect yourself along the way. Like you're going to support yourself. And what I'm almost getting for a lot of you is that there's a pivotal shift taking place in your consciousness about what you conceptualize as your creativity. And for many of you, you are shifting your focus and instead seeing your life as your great creation. I know it's very like, that's very up there, but a lot of you might be starting to really detach. It's not even full on detach. You're starting to release attachments to certain aspects of yourself and aspects of your identity. You might have kind of stopped identifying with certain things that used to be really meaningful. Like maybe for some of you, this is even like your nationality, your ethnicity, maybe like your family history. For some of you, this is very odd, but like this is unique, but For some of you, you've just like stopped identifying with your name. It's not like a refusal. I want to be like, bah. It's not like a refusal. It's not a bad thing. It's just not your thing. I feel like this group is a group that has very connected, high consciousness. I'm like wanting to like hold my third eye area, but you also have a very active, like 8th and 9th chakras, right? So especially like that soul star chakra, where we're really connecting into divine wisdom and intelligence, in a way that kind of supersedes the human experience. Not supersedes, but extends past the human experience. You may be very interested in things like quantum mechanics and quantum physics, very interested in how time works. You could be very interested in kind of philosophy and spirituality and the intersection of those two things. And like, it feels like you are expanding into those, your strongest chakras, I feel like, are your upper chakras in general. And it feels like you're kind of you're kind of coming to this place where what you are creating in your life, like what you are kind of deeming as your lifetime creation, is just that, your life, as an expression of the universe and of divine consciousness. And it's hard for me to put into words, so you guys might be struggling with that as well. And part of it is because you guys are both, there's a significant intake and release of energy, right? You are exchanging very much so with the universe. You might be very tired lately. Especially I'm getting mid-afternoon. And I'm not talking about like the mid-afternoon caffeine crash. I'm talking about like you're doing fine and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I really need a nap. Let yourself nap. You know, again, always go to the doctor, always be safe. But like if you're in otherwise a healthy state, you just might find that you're very tired. I know for myself that happens a lot, where like I will be fine and then maybe I'll do some energy work, or I'll read for people, or I'll just be kind of sitting and thinking about things in like a, you know, otherworldly context, and I need to take a nap. And I find that usually when that happens, I'm dreaming about something, I'm buzzing about in the astral, and when I wake up, I not only feel more rested, but I just feel like a different person. And you guys might benefit from that. Excuse me. Oh, I'm so sorry for coughing so much. But I want to see what your other cards were. The Page of Swords. We have Child with Consciousness. Child of Wind with Consciousness. We have a beautiful dragonfly here. So dragonflies might be significant for you. And then we have the Empress in reverse here. This is Kuan Yin energy. Could be a Taurus or a Libra, possibly an Aquarius is very strong here. I always look at the Fool like Aries energy, so I'll put it out there, but I also have Gemini, Libra. So strong Libra, strong Aquarius. And it's so interesting we have consciousness here. I feel like, again, there's a sense here of redefining creativity for yourself. A lot of you guys are putting pressure on yourself. I have to create XYZ. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. Some of you, you're a parent, or you have suffered a lot of wounds with a parent, particularly a mother figure. This has, I'm hearing the word devastated. This has devastated your creativity if there are wounds here with a parent, or there are family like lineage wounds here. This devastated your creativity and you've been on a journey to heal it. For some of you, you've been on a journey to heal maternal lineage in your family and reconnect them to higher knowledge, reconnect them to spirit. But for many of you, there's been this sense, I feel, of you have all this creative energy, and I think you've been doing things with it, but it hasn't felt quite in alignment. And I feel as if you have released this pressure to have it look a certain way. Some of you, like I said, you are parents, and perhaps your children have grown up or they are becoming more independent. And as a result, you now have more energy to focus on your own maybe inner child healing journey, your creativity journey. There's a sense here where you have let go, I feel, of a responsibility, or you have escaped a karmic responsibility. You have moved past that. And there is this renewal energy. I gotta cover it up because your boobs are out, and apparently YouTube is afraid of boobs. There we go. I'm also noticing this, like, this lady, she's got, like, her little belly out. It's so cute. But there's a sense here where you're just, like, letting it go. For some of you, you're releasing your sense of power. You're, like, I just feel like you're not pressuring yourself anymore. You're not pressuring yourself for it to look a certain way. You're not pressuring yourself. What is this Empress in reverse? Some of you, you're believing in yourself. You're believing in your self-worth. And it's opening up this creativity because that's really what was stopping you. Yeah, we have the Star in reverse here. There's a sense here where I feel like you're seeing yourself as divine in a way that you were struggling to before. Yeah, 10 of Wands with self-destruction. Okay, and then we have the Hanged Man, Mother Mary, sacrifice in reverse. The 10 of Swords, you guys, are you okay? With illusion. And the King of Swords with visionary. Whenever I see the Page of one suit and King or Queen of the same suit, that can indicate a parent-child relationship for me. Again, more Aquarian energy. Yeah, there's a sense here where, excuse me, I feel like there was an old wound that had to be escaped. There was a cycle you had to go through. And this was the cycle. You know, we have 2 10s, and they're the most heavy 10s in the whole tarot. You've been through a lot with the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords. This has been a sacrifice to get to your higher self. It's hard to see, but this little image here is also on the 6 of Wands in this deck, and the property is forgiveness. You have had to alchemize so much energy and forgive so much. And I think this has been a cycle that has brought you to this King of Swords energy, where you are logical, you are wise, you are measured and balanced in your approach. You see everything. I feel like there's very heavy, you might have like past life placements in an air sign. So like South Node, Chiron, it could be, you know, what's in your 12th house, your 8th house, Saturn possibly. Some of you have Saturn in Aquarius. There's a sense here where, like, I think you've had this past life energy where you've become very shrewd, very wise, very smart, very, very smart. You guys are really smart, wicked smart. But this is different. This is learning how to utilize that differently. And this has been a lifetime, I feel, of you guys running through and then wrapping up a cycle about how to utilize your intellect. Some of you might have Mercury in Pisces, Mercury in the 12th house. It could be aspected challengingly with your Mercury could be aspected challengingly with your Neptune. There's something kind of like that. Because I think one of the things you've been working on up until this point is that you've had all this intelligence, all of this, like, you know, mental acuity. But this has been a lifetime about learning how to utilize it in a way that is good for you, that honors you. Even look at this image. We've got the umbrella, the little rain cloud, but all this sun, and they're back to it, right? There's something about, and we have illusion. There's something about utilizing your mind. If you can hear my stomach rumble, utilizing your mind to create beauty for yourself and for others. And I feel this is mostly aimed at yourself. Because I think up until this point, you have been at odds with your mind. You've been battling your mind. I'm noticing we have Moon and Gemini represented on this card, so that might be applicable. We also have Saturn and Sagittarius. Sorry, that's funny to me for other reasons. So those might be applicable as well. Could have a lot of, like, could have some Pisces placements, but again, I'm getting a lot of air here. This has really been what you've been working on, because you're so, again, you have so much, like, so wise, so smart. You know how to have a vision, a long-term vision, and make that happen, and you know how to look at the big picture of things. But I think for many of you, you've learned how to do this, or you know how to do this, and it's carried you through some very challenging times. But this has been a struggle of learning how to temper that energy. So it's kind of like tend to that fire so it keeps you warm without burning you to pieces, like burning you up, incinerating you. You have learned how to have It's like learning how to balance your strengths. Again, your mental acuity. Some of you might have a very strong throat chakra. Excuse me. Learning how to balance it with the sense of self-love. Some of you, you grew up in a situation where this intellect was very praised, but connecting to your feelings may not have been. It may have been a very cold family environment. You may have had a very cold, distant, challenging relationship with a mother figure. And this has been all about self-empathizing, self-attunement. Some of you might have Chiron in Gemini. And I feel like right now you're at a place where you are leaving this behind. Because again, this Page of Swords, you are finding your own truth. The dragonfly is all about ascended truth. You are finding your own truth. And look how she's balanced between the light and the shadow. You are focused on your own truth and focused on the reality, which is that there are a lot of different truths out there. There's a lot of different ways to look at everything. As much as we try to look for objective reality, we are in a subjective universe. And that is meant as a gift for us. It's amazing, right? We can all be experiencing close to the same stimuli, but all take away something so completely unique from it. That's a gift for us. And I think a lot of you guys have been coming to this place of realizing that it really is your mindset that dictates your experience. And as a result, I think a lot of you guys are holding space for... a lot of you guys have held space for your inner child as you have been grieving and releasing. And it's allowing you now to learn how to hold space for your inner child and your true, authentic soul self as you are growing and creating. It's a renewal of consciousness, and one that is very much based I'm so sorry. One that's very much based in trusting the universe and trusting yourself and in believing in the good things that can happen for you. So with the Fool here, what are you creating? We have the Knight of Wands in reverse at the bottom. I feel like there's something you're not fighting anymore. You're not seeking anymore. I feel like you're letting things come to you. You're just letting yourself blossom and explore. You're not forcing yourself to grow. You're letting yourself blossom. I'm so sorry, folks. Okay. Two of Swords with balance. Yep. Mental balance, harmony. And the Six of Cups, we have pleasure in reverse. Yeah, I feel like what you're allowing yourself to create is you're allowing yourself to find mental peace and, again, balance. And you're releasing past life energy that has kept you from finding the joy and the pleasure that life has to offer. A lot of you guys have had experiences with the Ten of Swords, Ten of Wands, King of Swords that have caused you to need to be strategic, need to look at the big picture, to be combing your surroundings and your reality, looking for what could go wrong. And I think this has taken you even past that. You're seeing how all things fluctuate and all things are part of a greater continuum. And this is allowing you to move forward on your path. Excuse me. And allow things to just expand and to just grow. And to not have to kind of calculate every step or be hyper vigilant for danger. There's a sense here, I will try things and some things will fail, and that's okay. I will go through cycles where I am up and cycles where I am down, and that's okay. I will take big leaps and I will spend time in a stagnant place, and that's okay. I feel like you're just coming to this place of acceptance about the process of living. And that's allowing you to kind of release this past. So this is quite beautiful. I think that's everything I have for group 1. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments how this resonated, if you want to, of course. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon, okay? Take care. Bye. My God. Okay. Hey, group 2. So, timer was at 30:03 as I said that. So I love palindromes. I'm like, suck up at palindromes. So 3 might be important for you. You might like the number 0. That's my favorite number personally. It's my lucky number, 0. I feel like something's mirrored back to you. You have a significant connection in your life right now. And this is a great segue into your image. This energy is even like so much more quirky and kind of fun. Not that group 1 wasn't delightful, but it's just like a different energy. This feels like a little bit more about fun. That was a very like significant spiritual message. As is this, but just a little different. Picking up a lot of like fire energy. You may have a very active solar plexus chakra at this time. I'm picking up Sagittarius energy here. But there is a significant connection. And you see how they've got this thing? It kind of looks a little bit like an instrument to me. So music right now is very significant to your journey. And there is a creative collaborator that has either come into your reality or very soon will. This creative collaborator is somebody who you have been reaching out through space and time with. And as I said, that was 3113. So again, like there's a mirroring aspect. You guys have been reaching out. You might have like mirror opposite journeys. You might be like an opposites attract thing. You've been reaching out through space and time, and you have been connecting spiritually, psychically. This person has been a muse and inspiration. So if all of a sudden, maybe if you were creatively blocked and then you're like, oh, I got it now. Or like all of a sudden you started like, I've just really developed an interest in like this kind of art, this kind of music. That's this person. This person is encouraging you, I feel. This person is going to help. This person is strong where you might be a little weak, and vice versa. I feel like you have this sense where, just look at the image, how it's all behind their head. You have the vision of how it all comes together. It might be very intuitive for you, but you have a hard time articulating it. This person is detail oriented. So you might have a vision for how everything's going to come together. And this person, while you're working with this person, if they come in and it seems like they're, I don't want to say nitpicking, but they're like, oh, you could clean this up a little bit. Or like, this is great, but what if we tweaked it this way? This person is not trying to be critical. This person sees something. Because even look, right, we have all the blue over here on this individual, and there's blue throughout here. This person's connected to your vision, but they're connected in the spaces, right? If you are seeing the light, they are seeing through the dark. They are seeing the same thing as you, but they're seeing the details that you might be missing. You guys are meant to work together. You fit together. I cannot stress that enough. You fit together for sure. One of you might have long hair. The other one might tend to have shorter hair. Well, like again, this feels like one of you might have long, dark hair. The other one might have shorter, lighter hair. There could be an age difference. The other person, this person's very connected to the angelic realm. Both of you might have, one of you might have a very strong sacral chakra. The other might have a very strong throat chakra. Yeah. You guys are meant to make something. Sorry, I'm really sniffly. My allergies, my asthma are just awful. You guys are meant to make something. And I feel, I don't know why I'm getting this with this image. This is something that's meant to have either many cycles, many iterations, it's like issues. So if you guys made like episodes, something like that, like you make a podcast, there's gonna be longevity here. If you're going to put out music, it's going to reach a wide audience. You might make many albums together. There's something kind of like that. You are meant to work with this person. This is a pretty significant part of your life journey, I feel. I want to see. I was going to pick up the tarot, and I will in a sec, but I'm just looking at it a little longer. I'm noticing this person. The left hand is, kind of more like that brown stone color. The right hand is blue. The left side of our body is our divine feminine side. This is our intuitive, receptive, creative side. The right side is our masculine side. So it's kind of more about the expression, you know, our outward oriented expression, our actions that we take. This person, I feel, struggles with a creative vision. And, you know, tarot can go both ways. You know, divination can go both ways. So if you see yourself more as the person who kind of struggles, this could be, you know, put yourself where you see yourself. But this person struggles with a creative vision. They might struggle with, for some of you, this is like a manager, or this is somebody who's going to come in and help you organize your vision and your project. They struggle with that. They struggle with, especially the hands especially are about the things we make. So they really struggle with the divine inspiration for what they're going to make creatively. But their advice, right? Because the right hand is blue. Their advice, the advice they offer you for actionable steps to take is divinely inspired. So maybe they don't have the vision, but they see what you make. This even is kind of that energy. One of you could be a writer, like an excellent, like you've got what it takes to be a great writer. And the other one, like one of you's got the story and the other one's a phenomenal editor. It's just, you guys are like peanut butter and chocolate, kind of a thing. Like you're meant to go together. I'm just imagining that like my little friends who are like have nut allergies out there are just like, damn it, another space where I'm not included. I'm sorry. You guys are like, sun butter and jelly. There we go. Is that good? If you guys haven't had sun butter before, you should. It's really, I think it's good. It's just like, it's kind of like a peanut butter, but made out of sunflower seeds. So it's friendly for people who have nut allergies. And it's really good, I think. But you know, don't let me tell you what to do. You're a self-sovereign being, and I believe in you. Yeah, you guys are just meant to work together. This person I'm getting might be taller than you by like a significant margin. Something like that. There could be like a big height difference between the two of you. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust where I'm sitting because my pants were like bunching up in one spot. It was uncomfortable. And here we are. Yeah. So just know that if there's like a little bit of difficulty getting on the same page. I also feel like if you're this person and you're trying to give advice to your you know, co-creative partner here, your collaborator, it might be a little challenging because it might seem like they're not always listening, or like it's hard to get them to focus. I'm getting that really heavily. Try to stay patient. This person's not trying to blow you off. It's just that they're kind of working with a lot. So I feel like this person has trouble honing things in. This person has trouble moving past, like this kind of feels like, okay, we have a vision. This person might start working on something over here. Like, you know, if it's like points A, B, C, and D, this person's vision is we do A, and then we do B, then we do C. This person's like, I'm going to work on C for a little bit because I feel like I should. Oh, well, now D seems really important, so I'm going to do that. It might be hard to get this person to focus. They're not trying to blow you off. It's just like they got a lot they're trying to piece together. I also feel like one of you is a lot more of a sequential thinker, and the other one might kind of jump around a little bit. But I feel both of you are equally motivated to make this project come to life. This is something you both believe in. What is this? This is cool. Wow. Yeah, the King of Wands. One of you, like I said, could be a fire sign. We have Leo represented here. I was picking up Sagittarius energy before. But we have transmutation. The King of Wands, King and Queen of Wands, both, they make shit that people want to be a part of. They are like, they're popular, right? So I always talk about this. And the Five of Wands with conflict in reverse at the bottom. I feel like any conflict that might go on here is short-lived. I also feel like when you guys get aligned, you get on the same page, you guys are going to be like animals. Like nobody's going to be able to compete with you. It's kind of the energy. You have there's a lot of dragons on this card, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's a lot of dragon energy here. You have a lot of support, a lot of spiritual support. Because like I said, what you're doing is like predestined. It's supposed to happen. It's a big turning point in both of your lives as well. But yeah, the King and Queen of Wands, you know, they have a very magnetic, attractive energy. And this is why when they make creative projects, they have a business, people gravitate to them. They're great influencers, they're great networkers, they're great performers, things like that. Just highly magnetic. But the other reason why is because they have some type of spiritual message or wisdom to offer, right? So naturally, they need to be magnetic energies because that's how the people who need to hear what they have to say find them. That's how the people who need to be in touch with their energy and their frequency, that's how they find them. And with transmutation being the property here, I feel like not only are both of you going to go through kind of a transmutative process to really bring this project to life, but what you have to say and what you have to make, I feel like will help transmute people's energy. If you make music, this will be like changing people's experience. If you are, a writer-editor combo, if you make a podcast, something about what you guys have to say will change people in an important way. I gotta just mention this. I'm smelling and tasting chili very heavily right now. It's not in my house or anything like that, so that might be a confirmation for some of you. You could be eating chili right now. You might be, that could be one of your favorite foods or like their favorite foods. That could be significant about how you guys like meet each other. I don't know why, but I'm going to throw it out there in case it's important for anyone. But yeah, I'm just getting that really heavily. So the Chariot. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry guys. I'm struggling. But I didn't want to wait till my allergies went away to make a reading because then we'd never get it done. So one of you could be a Cancer. The Nine of Swords with criticism. And the Temperance card with alchemy. So this is Sagittarius. Again, Cancer's energy here. Those two signs are quincunx from one another, which usually kind of indicates like something where there might be a repetitive issue or power struggle. And I do feel like if that's the case, there's a sense of, again, it's about like maybe commitment, because that Sagittarian energy, excuse me, is a seeker and is kind of like, can be kind of all over the place. One of the issues is one of you might want to expand and travel and take this to the people, and the other one kind of wants to be more of like a homebody. That can be kind of an issue between that pairing. One of you might have a family, and the other one might, one of you might have like kids or a lot of responsibilities to your family, and the other one might not, and that might just kind of, impact how you guys go about this project. But what I'm feeling here is this is overwhelmingly very positive. I do feel like one or both of you might have a fear of criticism. You guys might face a lot of opposition. What is this criticism all about? Wow, okay. We have the Hermit card with this is Yemaya with Oracle. What you guys have to say, Nine of Cups at the bottom with Joy. What you guys have to say is very divinely inspired. Again, we have Virgo here. I don't know why I'm doing that. Just like tapping it. We have Virgo energy here. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. Oh, excuse me. Okay, sorry. So I'm getting two major things. There's a lot of self-criticism. Well, I'm getting a couple major things. For some of you, there's a lot of self-criticism, either within you or within this person you're partnering with. And that's going to be something that needs to be alchemized and transmuted in order for this project to succeed. I feel like, though, you guys, in your own way, you both have this oracle kind of energy here, right? A lot of blue, a lot of throat chakra energy coming through. Excuse my burp. You both have this. You are both tuned in, but it's just in different ways. And you guys need to know that you will likely face a lot of opposition and a lot of criticism for your work. But by God, do not let that stop you. Because again, what you have to deliver to people is important. It's going to change people's energy. For some, it will change people's lives. It will alchemize and transmute a lot of energy into something incredibly positive. Some of you, you're sharing experiences that either you or this other person or both of you have gone through that have turned you into this King of Wands, that have turned you into somebody with wisdom, with confidence, with power, with a sense of self that is very grounded and rooted in their soul self, not in the material world or their material self. And there will be people who try to bring you down for that. So saying it was 4444 on the timer. Again, very angelic influence, very supported spiritually. People will try to bring you down for that. I feel one of you is more afraid of criticism than the other. But do not let that stop you from enacting your vision. And I think this is why it's really, really important in moments where there might be a little bit of a power struggle. One of you might be a little more detail oriented than the other, like I was saying, and that's a good thing. But that the more detail oriented person needs to watch out for getting so lost in the details that it's destructive to the vision, right? It's kind of that energy. One person needs to understand that done is better than perfect. And the other person needs to kind of understand that there has to be some structure to the vision in order to be able to produce it, or in order for people to be able to receive it. That's really what I feel like. You are both very, very tapped in. And you need to work together because you have complementary strengths and weaknesses. But just be prepared in those moments of challenge that, or opposition, whether it's between each other or then from the general public, to fight through those, because what you're doing really, really matters. And it's gonna matter. Again, this feels big. This feels important. I'm not saying like y'all are like destined to be famous, but you have a community. You have people who, are interested in an experience that you're talking about. There's something where people are going to be tuned in for at least that specific thing. And it's important. Work together. Lean on each other's strengths and weaknesses. I'm hearing really respect each other's strengths and weaknesses. You both have done a lot of work to get to this point, and it's important that you honor that within each other. So in those moments where one of you wants to approach it this way, one of you wants to approach it this way, always take time to center and ground yourself in the fact that this person has also gone through quite a lot. This person also has a lot to offer. And really do everything you can to kind of like connect through that. Let that be the bridge that helps you guys work together. I feel many of you have been asking for this, almost praying for this, just because the hand's on this card, almost like praying for this, right? Looking for somebody that you can create something important with, something you may, again, have an experience you're going to be talking about. And it's like, I want to be able to get this out, but I struggle with XYZ, or I want to be able to do this. Excuse me. And I want to find a community of like-minded people. This feels like one person in particular, though. Not saying you won't find your community, but it starts with them, or they're the ones who welcome you in, or vice versa. Just keep that in mind, because you guys are on the precipice of something important. I feel like I'm trying to decide if I feel like you guys have met this person yet. For many of you, I'm getting no. Okay, we have strength coming out and it's reversed here. This person could be a Leo. This person may be in your life, but be somebody that you've kind of had to let go of for a little bit, or like it's something has fizzled, right? Because it's sacred fire. 7 of Pentacles with failure. This is somebody there was an investment, and I think you're trying to like figure out where things are going to go. Okay, we have Kali with death here. This could be a Scorpio. This is something where there's a change, and I think some of you don't know if it's like done and over for good, or if it's like gonna evolve. You guys need to work together and appreciate each other. Yeah, the moon reverse. You both have, your own, I think both of you are going through an ascension process, but I also feel like it's very, very important. Some of you might create separately, but you still inspire each other. You're very, again, connected psychically. But for many of you, I feel you either haven't met this person yet, or you kind of like you connected and then things have like fizzled out. And you're kind of wondering like, is anything else going to come of this? Yeah, we have the 9 of Cups here. There's going to be something very, very beautiful and joyful that comes out of this. So I think that's everything I have for group 2. Thank you so much for being here. And I will hopefully get the chance to read for you again soon. Take care. Bye. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hi, group 3. Okay, you guys chose this card, and it's a very powerful image. A lot of you are hiding from something. And I immediately wanted to go to the tarot deck. The first two groups, the first group I barely even touched tarot. The second group, it was, you know, I was channeling for a bit first. Sorry, my nose is a little bit stuffy and sniffly. My allergies are just killing me. So some of you don't even know what you're hiding from. This feels like with the orange, this feels like something that maybe you were passionate about, and then I feel like you're afraid of it. This feels like something that you were like, ooh, what's that? And it's like, whoa, no, 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 no. For many of you, you see how there's this little beam of light here. It's coming out of the right eye. The right side of the body is associated with our divine masculine side. So it's the action that we take, right? How we move forward. It's also more of our earthly side. So it's like the tangible actions we're taking. It's like you have a vision. You're being guided. Again, this is going this way, but they're looking forward. You are being guided in a different direction. But some of you can't help looking at something that you're trying to move past. This thing feels like kind of like a temptation, but also like a wound. Again, this is something I feel you were very passionate about and you got burned. And you're still, part of you still feels passionate about it. These eyes are so sad. Part of you still feels passionately about this thing. It's like, I know I should be moving on. I'm getting like choked up. What the hell, man? It's like, I know I should be moving on. But I can't seem to let you go. I can't seem to let this go. I can't seem to move on. Even though, because look at how, like, you know, vibrant the orange is here. It's fading and it's fading. This is something that has, this is something you've, it's like, again, your passion has waned. This is if this is like a person, this is somebody who's let you down. This is something that used to be fun for you and has become increasingly problematic. Some of you are having a hard time kicking an addiction or a vice or something that it's kind of that devil energy in the tarot, you know, is not meant for you. You know, it's not good for you. You know, it's not where you want to be. And you are being led, right? Guided, right? Look at how all the faces in shadow except for this third eye crown area and then this light out of the eye. You are being led in a different direction, but you're having a really hard time letting something go and moving on, even though it hurts you real bad. And I feel this energy of like, why do I still, this might be a person, something like, why do I still love you? Again, for some of you, this is like a vice. This could be a person who is very connected to a vice of yours. So in letting go of one thing, you're letting go of the other as well. Some of you doing sacral chakra healing might really help. So like focus on that. There's a lot of sacral healing meditations on YouTube. You could be working with like stones like carnelian. Some of you doing some root healing as well might be useful. But there's something where you love it, but it's also dangerous, and you know that. And part of you kind of wishes you could forget about that and go back to the life you were living, but you can't. And you feel caught in the middle because you know what you need to do. You know you need to go forward, but you're still hanging on. What is this thing that you're hanging on to? We have the Star reversed. So this could be an Aquarius. We have the Tower reversed. Wow. I could be dealing with an Aries or a Scorpio. And then we have the Five of Swords reversed. Again, more Aquarius energy. This is Venus and Aquarius showing up. But it's fear. Reverse. And Judgment. Okay. With the Great Void. And then the Lovers underneath that with Ecstatic Union. So again, this could be a thing where there's a person involved, but it's tied to it's tied to so much more. This is something where I feel like you are still healing, and it's important to know that. It will get a little easier, but it kind of is like, I'm getting this energy, I need your cooperation. I need your help on this. Interesting how much the hands are highlighted. Sorry, I'm just noticing we have the hands here that are like, same thing with the hands here. And then we have a lot of movement with the hands here. The hands are always kind of associated for me with the things we can make, what we do with them. What a lot of you are really struggling with is that something happened, right? Tower reversed. We have the Purifier. Something happened and came in to help show you something that needed to get cleaned up, needed to get purified. Again, for some of you, this is an addiction or something that functioned like an addiction. I feel for many of you, this choked off your authentic voice. My throat's getting very, very dry for your reading. I'm sipping my tea. Because you had a lot of fear. You had a lot of fear around criticism. You had a lot of fear of being seen because there was a lot of fear of being criticized for who you authentically were. There's a fear around your own authenticity because somewhere along the line you learned that your authentic self not only isn't good enough, but is something that would garner not just judgment from others, but almost divine judgment. It's like if I'm myself, I know it's not good enough and the universe will punish me. Some of you have been working through that. Sorry, I'm being guided to like look at this card while I'm talking about this. If I can pull it out. This is something that I feel this is deeply rooted because I'm having trouble, getting to the card. And it flipped itself upside down. So let's see what comes out. The Moon. Yep. Deeply subconscious, deeply rooted. You guys might be aware of this. You might not. This feels like a turning point, both with just the stairways going this way and the Judgment kind of card coming out. A lot of major arcana here. And the Two of Pentacles in reverse with cycles. I love this imagery, and it's very similar to this imagery. There's the spiritual and the earthly, right? A lot of you guys have been called to let go of something from your earthly self, your earthly life, to step into your authenticity, but that's very, very fear-inducing. Some of you guys have been called to let go of this ego version of self and really own your spiritual self, own your authenticity, because it is time for a change. And many of you, something has fallen down, something, the Tower reversed to me means that you're being shown where something needs to get cleaned up, where it's not stable, and you're kind of taking matters in your own hands. Again, you guys know. You've received the guidance. You know what to do. You've received the ideas. You're aware. You have the vision to move forward. And I think you are taking some steps, or you're preparing yourself to, but part of you are still looking back. And you're missing it. You're missing that person. You're missing that vice. You're missing that habit. Because again, I'm picking up like heavy kind of like unhealed sacral energy where it's like self-soothing through things related to your senses, right? Through food, through sex, through, drugs, alcohol. There's a lot like that. For some of you, it's a gambling issue. Some of you self-soothe through money. Both like, some of you might have Venus in Aquarius or Venus in your 11th house, but it's challengingly aspected with possibly your moon or other, just like other placements you might find there's a lot of difficult aspects. These don't have to apply, by the way, but I'm shouting it out as I get it. There's a lot of sadness around leaving this behind, because you know that it doesn't serve you anymore. But there feels like there's a lot of grief. So you've made these changes, and I think part of you is releasing the fear around having to make a choice, right? Two of Pentacles upright can be about juggling and kind of, especially in this situation, finding sort of the middle ground between two parts of your life, your past and your future. You're finding this kind of balance, and here this is saying, there's no balance between these. I gotta put one down, or, things got out of hand. I gotta focus on this other area of life for a while. And for some of you, especially Jupiter and Capricorn here, again, it's like maybe like material matters either got out of hand or you got what you wanted. There's a sense here where it's been taken off the table. It's not, the focus on money or the focus on the material world is taken off the table, either by choice, by restriction, or by getting what you wanted. And for some of you, I think this is the challenging thing. You got what you wanted. And there's almost a sense that it's not enough. It doesn't feel as satisfying as you thought. Because somewhere along the lines, you started changing. Your soul is asking the universe for more. Your soul is asking the universe to find its true self, with the star reversed, to find its authenticity, to find its purpose. To find what really matters. And a lot of you guys either got what you wanted and found out it's not really cutting the mustard, or you're pursuing a different path, but you're just having a really hard time. Either way, it's like having a hard time letting go of your old version of self. This is very, very deep. I want to know what this thing is in particular with the orange, that sacral energy, what you're having a hard time releasing. Okay, Two of Swords. A lot of you guys have stricken a balance with something, and it seemed balanced for a long time, but it actually served to keep you stuck. These are between the light and shadow aspects of self. And something then was out of balance, and it's like, I recognize it's out of balance. I've got to do something about it, but you're having a really, really hard time. I feel for that. I almost said this with the Five of Swords in fear. I almost said fear of criticism. Some of you, it's time to make a big change, and part of you really wants that. But the other part of you is really afraid to leave the life that you have cultivated behind because there is an intense fear of criticism. A lot of air energy here. The Ace of Cups. And the Seven of Cups with denial in reverse. Yeah. I feel like you guys struck a balance with something. It gave you something, but it also took something from you. And you were okay with that for a long time. And this feels like, again, the reason why you invested in it is because it was soothing in the moment. And I feel like especially it kept you from having to face a fear of criticism from others. Right? So let's say this is somebody who wants to take a break from drinking or give it up entirely, but there's a fear of what will my friends think, right? This is something where it's like, oh, I really don't want to, do this anymore or spend money on this anymore, but I'll just go out this much, right? Like I don't want to be again, like maybe like because there's something about the material here too. I feel maybe this is something where it's like, oh, I have a hard time kind of keeping a handle on on money when I'm gambling, so like maybe I'll only do it this often. I feel like it's, again, something where it takes something from you, but it saves you, or it has saved you from the criticism that you're fearing from others, especially those you're very close to. You might struggle to get close to people. You might feel like you spend a lot of time hiding. right? This person's hiding behind their passions, hiding behind those self-soothing techniques. You might feel like you spend a lot of time doing that. I feel like I want to give you guys a hug. It's going to be okay. It's really going to be okay. All right? And that's kind of what I feel like. It's like, yeah, I don't like that I do this, when I'm drunk. I don't like that I go, I go to a casino and I have a set idea in mind. I always seem to spend more than I anticipated, or I lose more. I don't like that happens, but it's only every once in a while, but it's our thing. We always go, I always go do this with my bestie, but I don't want to get, I don't want to get shit from my family. There's kind of something like that. And you can't do that anymore. A lot of you have been on the process of becoming aware of what would actually make you happy. And what a shift to go from air energy, right? Mental energy to water, right? Of the heart. And the water always represents our intuition, our emotions. And this is a big fucking shift. Because you guys can't deny it anymore. And this person in the boat is surrounded by snakes. Snakes, are one of those kind of animals where they have the dual imagery of being deceptive, but also they are, about transformation and healing. Some of you may have realized that the people surrounding you when you're doing these things are not so good for you. And it's kind of this energy of why am I even caring? And we have more snakes here as well. Why am I even caring about what these people think? But there's still a hard time letting it go. It feels like in the process of pursuing your authenticity, you may have had to release the comforting belief that some people in your inner circle are meant to be there or are good for you. That shit is a bitch. For some of you, I don't know why I'm getting this with a seahorse, because it made me think about seahorse. Male seahorses carry the babies. For some of you, this is, there's a wound with a father here. And that's coming up for sure. But what I'm really getting to with the snakes is it's kind of like transformation, transformative energy is surrounding you. And there's no denying it anymore. It is time to change. Some of you, you've gotten clarity on some people around you. It's kind of like you had habits in your life, or you were living in a certain way, excuse me, to try to appease them. And it's kind of like maybe they've revealed themselves to you, or you've seen them for who they really are. And it's kind of, again, it's like, I can't let them go. I'm struggling to let them go. I know it's so bad for me. I know this isn't what I want to be doing, but I'm having trouble. And I do see that here. And it feels like you're stuck between these two worlds of pursuing something that would actually make you really happy. Finding out what that is. Some of you don't even know what that is yet, and you're on a path to go find it. And you got an idea, right? See that? If I can pick up the card. You got a vision. You know what to do next. You know what to do. I feel like that's so clear with this group. You have an idea. I should look into moving to this place. I should call this friend about, connecting and doing this. I should be calling these people back instead. And you know what you got to do. And so even if you're not talking to the people who are not good for you, you're struggling to take that next step to reach out to people who are good for you, right? Even if you're not engaging in the habits that are bad for you, you have an idea in mind of something that, maybe I should try this instead. You have it. You have it right there, but you're struggling. And it's kind of, I feel like you guys are kind of caught between a rock and a hard place of I know what to do, but because the Two of Swords can be about non-action. You're not reaching out. You're not communicating. You're not making a decision. It's I see the truth. I know what needs to happen. I know at least I need to let something go. I know that I should probably try this other strategy instead. Some of you, you're debating about whether or not to reach out for help about something. Maybe talk to a therapist, start going to a support group. tell a trusted friend about a problem that you're having. Like, because again, I don't know why I'm picking up such heavy addiction energy here. And if that's not your story, that's okay. But it's like you're struggling with making a change. It's like, I know I need support because I really am struggling to do it alone. This might be a very solitary time in your life, and that you might be just, again, a very solitary person in general, and it's actually not serving you here. And so you guys are kind of caught in this place where you can't deny it anymore. We also have, Venus and Scorpio depicted here. So again, it's like, deep connections, right? Deep. Some of you have deep feelings for somebody, and you're struggling to let them go, even though you know it's not good for you anymore. You know it's time to change. And some of you have deep feelings for somebody that you feel you need to move toward, and you're struggling to do it because it requires you to just like change a lot about your life, and you're really having a hard time with that. You're looking at what you feel you're losing or moving away from with quite a lot of attachment. I want to know what Spirit wants you to know about this whole thing. Again, I'm giving you guys a hug in my heart and soul. I want to look at this card but not take it. Seven of Pentacles. A lot of you might feel like you're a failure, or you're struggling with a feeling of failure. Like if you're thinking about reaching out for help, you might be like, no, that would mean I failed. A lot of you have tried to, I'm hearing, moderate something in your life. Again, very heavy addiction energy. Moderate something in your life, balance, right? I can do this a little bit. And it's kind of like, if I admit I can't have moderation, I failed. That is not the case, right? There is a sense here that there's no leaves on this tree, but it's actually a pretty decent tree. I feel like whatever it was, you were never meant to succeed with things the way they are. You were never meant to succeed with this thing in your life. It was never meant to go past a certain point. It may be a coping skill from a long time ago, but there's a sense here of if I admit I need help, I failed. If I admit that, this relationship is over, this relationship from the past is over, I failed. If I admit, some of you, again, there's a problem, there's a fear of criticism. Like if I admit that I'm struggling, maybe financially, if I admit that I'm not feeling that as much, but for some of you, that's the case. Some of you might be struggling financially because of a vice. And it's like, if I admit that I need help, or maybe it's like, if I admit to, let's say you want to take a break from drinking, if I'm going to a family event and I admit, no, I'm not drinking right now, it's going to be like I failed, right? I know for me, like I've been sober for over a year, and that was the thing I was afraid of, was like, if I go to either family events or events with certain people in my life, and even just by virtue of not having a drink or saying, no, I'm not drinking, that's like a code for like, oh, that person had an alcohol problem. Like the only reason why you wouldn't drink is if you had a problem. And I was nervous about that, and that was like something I had to confront. I am all of a sudden so hungry. Wow. Sorry. Yeah, exactly. 10 of Pentacles reversed. Because whatever this is something that's been with you for such a long time, right? This is something that's foundational to us, something that has deep roots. And when it's reversed, we have fruition here. There's something, it's like, it didn't come to fruition. I invested so much, or, everybody in my family can, deal with X, Y, Z. And what am I saying if I can't, right? Everybody in my life is, super successful with this, and if I'm not, what does that mean? There's a huge fear of criticism. Yep, Wheel of Fortune reversed. I feel like this is something where you've gone through many cycles with it, and it almost always ends poorly, and part of you keeps going back for more and back for more and back for more, and it takes a little bit more from you each time. It takes a little more out of you every time. Yeah, we have the 9 of Pentacles at the bottom. This is usually a card about being stable and independent in yourself. We have the word community here. Being stable and independent does not mean being alone. And in fact, it's so rarely the case that we are stable and independent within ourselves with no support. A lot of you guys, I think there's a fear here around a loss of an identity and some semblance of community focused on that identity. But we need to find out who we really are in order to come into alignment with people who are going to support that version of us, the best version of us. And it's okay if it's different. It's great if it's different. And like, for anybody who doesn't agree, they're not part of your community. And I know I say that with a smile on my face, but being willing to risk getting rid of people is hard. I do promise you, though, it is worth it. There is nothing so intoxicating as your authentic joy. And it takes a little bit to find it. And you're going to go through a period of feeling lost and wondering if you did the right thing. Hang on. Of wanting to turn back and saying, screw it. If I'm not finding what makes me happy and I'm not finding my people, then I may as well go back to what was working in the moment. And you're going to feel really confused and really irritated. And that is all part of the process. That doesn't mean it's not worth it. And it doesn't mean you're not going to get there. You know, wherever you've been, you know there's nothing left for you there. So it seems to me that the only recourse you have is to start moving forward. Very Eight of Swords energy. Six of Wands. In this deck, it's forgiveness. Your victory is through self-forgiveness, self-love. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is death, but I accidentally dropped it and it reversed. A lot of you guys are really afraid. Afraid to make this change. We have Scorpio energy showing up. And you know, the Six of Wands is usually victory after battle, but it's also public recognition. So many of you are so afraid to make this change because you're afraid of what people will say. You're afraid if somebody will forgive you if you change, if people will still like you and love you. I'm getting emotional here. Again, for some of you, this goes back to a fatherhood wound. And it just feels like, yeah, like you're wondering if people will still love you the same way. If people can forgive you. Some of you, you know, you've lost a lot because of this vice or this habit. And asking for help means having to admit what's actually going on. And some of you are wondering, can they ever forgive me? The right people will forgive you, I promise. And if you're struggling with something like that, like I know, you know, we're talking about it heavily. Like if you're struggling to let go, if you're struggling with a vice and addiction, like it is so hard. And the people who, you know, I'm not saying other people don't love you, but the people who can love you unselfishly, the people who can support you as you go through this change, will know that there's nothing to forgive. If you made mistakes, you made mistakes. All of us do. It's a part of life. We have to. And if you need to change in order to be your healthiest, best self, some of you, there's a fear of emotional vulnerability in this change. Look how the heart is behind the chains. There is a fear of really truly expressing yourself. There's a fear of deep diving. There's a fear of removing whatever this is because there's a fear of having to admit how much somebody has hurt you. It's okay. This change is meant to burn away a lot of pain, a lot of restrictions, a lot of chains that you have put on yourself that other people have put on you, especially emotionally. You will be seen and you will be loved for exactly who you are. It's okay to let this old life go. It really is okay. All right? I want to kind of pull one more card for you to close out our reading about what you can do. The Ten of Cups reversed with purity. For a lot of you, there's a childhood wound. There's a deep childhood wound here. And it's going to bring it up, and that's okay. For some of you, excuse me, this change means letting go and forgiving, likely somebody who's part of your family, but somebody who is supposed to be, I feel like, your peace and your happiness, somebody who you loved very purely, somebody who may have hurt you very deeply, and you have been running away into unhealthy coping mechanisms ever since. For some of you, being able to forgive yourself and this other person, and forgiving does not mean condoning, nor necessarily letting them back in your life, but acknowledging and accepting what has happened and that it is past and it's okay to let it go. And it's okay to get excited about what life has to offer, even if it's a different thing. Because life is bringing you something beautiful. And I think you already know that. And it's okay. It's okay to let the disappointment go. It's okay to forgive the situation, to forgive that person. It's okay to forgive yourself if you felt stuck on it for a long time. All of that is okay. It is okay to move forward. 4 of Cups reversed. It's okay, desire, to seize your actual desires. It's okay to get excited about life again. It's okay to participate emotionally. It's okay to have your emotions. And it's okay to be able to stand up and say, I love this. I want this. And that's the direction I'm going in. That's what I want. That's what will make my heart happy. All of that is okay. So I think that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for being here. And hopefully I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.